Welcome back, everybody. This week we're going to learn how to be annoying in a subtle way. Being an annoying person, it's an art form, really. All younger brothers know that. You can't just come out and be annoying. Do something egregious to annoy people, like wear socks with sandals. No, I take that back. That's an awesome look. But you can't just go out of your way to be annoying. It's way more annoying to be annoying in a subtle way. You want people to leave any interaction with you thinking, just something about this guy. I don't know what it is. Can't quite put my finger on it, but I don't want to be around him at all. And you know a great way to create that reaction from other people is to communicate like a narcissist. First way a narcissist communicates, this is pretty basic, but it's good to go over the fundamentals, is you be a one-upper. Whenever somebody tells you a story, you don't even let them finish. You just come over top with your story that's like theirs, but a bigger deal. So let's say somebody visited a dam in New Zealand, and so what you got to do is, even if it's a lie, you tell the story about how you visited an even bigger dam in a country even farther away than New Zealand. Just suck all the energy out of whatever somebody else is saying and bring all the attention back on you, the narcissist, because how else would you know if you really were somebody or you existed or had an identity unless somebody was paying attention to you? Another way to communicate like a narcissist is to relate with people on an experiential level, but not a feeling emotional level. So let's say somebody just put down their dog, very sad, and you think you're going to relate with them, so you just talk about how you had your dog put down recently. I mean, on the surface, this seems nice, maybe, but when you're actually in that interaction, it's so annoying. Why would you just talk about your dog dying when my dog just died? But what you could do if you didn't want to be annoying, if that was something that you're interested in, is relate on the feeling level. So whatever emotions that somebody's going through when they put their dog down, grief, loss, maybe regret, you remember back when there was a time when you did feel those feelings and relate that experience to them. It could be a completely different experience, but the emotions are the same. But that's only if you don't want to be annoying, if that's what you're into. Another way to communicate like a narcissist, to be subtly annoying, is to never ask questions. Somebody's talking about themselves or talking about some experience, and they sort of just trail off, don't give it a good at the end. You just start talking about whatever you wanted to talk about instead of asking questions about, really? Could you clarify? Could you say that in a different way? I don't really understand this point here. Could you please? Now, what you could do, if you want to be annoying, don't do that, right? Just talk about yourself. Keep the attention on you. If you ask questions, then that means other people are maybe talking, which means you're not talking, which means do you even have an identity if you're not talking? Another way to communicate, if you're a narcissist, to be subtly annoying, same thing here, is to make comments that you're not ready to back up. So when somebody disagrees with you, you just get upset with them. Like you kind of make a comment. It could be a political comment, just about your belief, opinion. Usually it's something that you just read in a newspaper or magazine, and you're repackaging it like it's your own thought or opinion or belief. And then if somebody challenges you on it, then you get upset at them for challenging you on it. Of course, forgetting the fact that you're the one who brought it up in the first place. Essentially what you're doing is you're relying, whenever you express an opinion, right, an opinion that's your own, you're relying on other people not saying anything about it. So what people end up learning to do is when you express an opinion or belief, is they just sit there and go, oh God, just let them talk. Let them talk. Don't say anything so we can just get through this so we don't have to keep talking about this. Now, people may not know they do this consciously, but they definitely do it, and it's really annoying. And when they're not around you, they're just going to find themselves thinking, God, I don't want to be around that guy anymore. And then another way to communicate like a narcissist is to make every conversation you can political. This is especially important to do if it's done as a non sequitur. like just bring up something that political that has almost nothing to do, would only tangentially related, just like, wow, how would you bring that up? Now, this is a great way for a narcissist to talk about himself on a deeper level. You can't really talk about yourself on a deep level because, it's just a mess down there. So the only way you can talk about it is to project it out on some political issue. So you could say, man, I'm really afraid, but you wouldn't even say that, right? You say, man, what's happening in the Supreme Court's scary. It's really scary what's going on in the House of Representatives, whatever the thing of the news is. But what that translates into is, I'm really scared. But you don't want to say that because you don't have an identity. And where does an identity come from? Of course, your regulated emotion. It's not regulated. It's just chaos down there. You want to keep that hidden. But you do want to talk about it in some roundabout way. So you project it out onto politics. Talk about that, not knowing the entire time that you're talking about yourself. Ultimately, people don't really know this is what you're doing, but they kind of know. And that's why it's subtly annoying, of course. And then finally, the way to communicate like a narcissist, well, when you have to listen to somebody else talk in a conversation, okay, it happens. But what you do is you just pretend like you're listening. And it's one thing to pretend like you're listening if it doesn't really make it seem like you're listening. Yeah, if you're just not listening, just an expressionless blank face, not listening, that's one thing. But it's way more annoying to not be listening, even though you're pretending to be listening, by using something that we learned about in graduate school called the micro-expression, not aggression, micro-expression, where you kind of go, yeah, oh, I see, oh, yeah, yeah. A lot of head nods, a lot of uh-huhs. Now, we were taught this, like, oh, so now the client thinks that you're listening. Nobody thinks that. People know you're not listening when you do that. And if you were listening, then you wouldn't have to do that in the first place. It would be a lot more natural. It wouldn't be so forced. People know unconsciously that you're not listening, but this is a great way to really annoy people. You're like, I guess he was listening, but not really. I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable saying anything around that guy. That is the impression that you will definitely give other people when you do the micro-expression, pretend to be listening, as opposed to really listening. Because listening is just an act. I mean, who would actually want to listen, right? You have to pretend like you're listening, otherwise people won't really think you're listening. That's how it works. But this really indicates, the true nature of narcissism. You hear that word a lot. It gets thrown around a lot. Even by people in the psychological profession. And not only do we get it wrong, not only get narcissism wrong, but it's the opposite of the truth. Narcissism is often portrayed as somebody who has a strong boundary, a strong ego, a big ego, right? Or a high sense of self-esteem. But the truth is the opposite. That's how it appears. That's how narcissism may appear. Oh, he's attracting attention to himself. He must really like himself, but that's just a way to cover up the fact that he doesn't have a strong identity. He doesn't have a strong ego, and he has a very low sense of self-worth. So he has to attract attention to himself, of course, only on a superficial level. And if he does talk about himself on a deeper level, then he needs to project out those issues onto something else, like politics, and talk about that as a way to surreptitiously talk about himself. But this is exactly, let's say, for the sake of argument, that you didn't want to be annoying, then I highly recommend therapy. And I highly recommend therapy done in the correct way. And that's what we do here at Animus Empire. We learn not only what emotions are, which you're not going to get anywhere else effectively, but you learn exactly how to talk through emotions. So when it does come time to talk about yourself or to be in a conversation and you don't want to be annoying, then you're much less likely to do that. And of course, you don't even have to act anymore, right? That's really the point of therapy. You build up a boundary by managing dysregulated emotions. The more you do that, the clearer your boundary becomes, and you'll find yourself acting less and less like a narcissist, communicating less and less like a narcissist, if indeed you didn't want to be annoying. And I'll leave it there for this week. AnimusEmpire.com/therapy. /group. We have all these resources here for you. So when you do find yourself being annoying and just subtly annoying other people, and you find that other people just don't want to be around you for some reason, now you have a place to go.